Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going through newborn must-haves. So my baby girl is 11 weeks old today and I cannot believe how fast it flies by. Like when they say it goes fast, they are not lying. But I know as I was trying to prepare for her arrival, I just wanted to know like what do I actually need? And I was trying to like survey all the moms who had recently given birth, like what did you actually use from what you were given and what you purchased for yourself. I know like when you're in a store like Bye Bye Baby or even the baby section in Target, it's just so overwhelming. There are so many products to choose from, so many different types of things, and you're not even sure like what am I actually going to need to use. So my hope for this video is that I will give you guys some products that I feel like really made the transition to bringing my baby girl home really easy for me. Let's get started. The first product that I have here is a pillow for feeding. So I originally registered for the Boppy and I got this from my baby shower. I only kind of heard about the Boppy, so I didn't honestly like do my own research to find out like what's the best, feeding pillow. I just went with what I heard because I figured, if you hear it a lot, it must be good. So on my first days home, I had the Boppy, but it wasn't until I met with the lactation consultant that I heard about the Breast Friend. Now this is seriously a lifesaver for tiny babies. When you bring your baby home, they're like a noodle, for lack of a better comparison. Like their neck isn't, they don't have a lot of neck strength and they're just kind of like floppy all around. The thing with the Boppy is that it kind of it curves in the middle, so when you put it around yourself, your baby can easily just kind of like fall in. And when you're learning to breastfeed and their baby is learning to latch and they're so tiny and don't really have any back support, I feel like just sinking in kind of makes the process more stressful. The nice thing about the Breast Friend is that all the sides are flat. So everything is flat, and then it has this cool hook, so you can hook it and attach it completely to yourself. Like there were points where I would just walk around with her feeding and the Breast Friend just holds itself up. Or if I needed to get something really quick, I didn't have to worry about like trying to hold my baby and taking off the Boppy. I could just keep this all around me, and I feel like this is so needed for new babies and you're just learning how to breastfeed and things like that. It also kind of has little like bumps on the side, so their head kind of has a little like cushion, and I think it just helps. Especially it like works for whatever you're sitting on. So if you're sitting on a bed or if you're sitting on a couch, you can like kind of adjust it based on the needs of your torso. So I believe that honestly both are really good. Like this Boppy is multi-purpose, so it's good for like tummy time, and it also helps prop them up if you're like having them sit on the couch. So I would suggest both, but if you were to get one, I would definitely go for the Breast Friend because I don't know, breastfeeding can just be difficult, so having anything that can aid the process is really helpful. Also, my husband wanted me to mention how if you do get a Breast Friend, bring it to, or even a Boppy, honestly, if you get either of them, bring it to the hospital with you, because most hospitals have really thin pillows and they don't have like really good back support or support for when you're breastfeeding your baby. I know, crazy hospitals, like come on, let's get it together, but they don't. And honestly, your back will be like thanking you so much if you bring one of these two pillows with you. The next must-have is a onesie with mittens. So this onesie has mittens at the edge that you can just kind of fold over your baby's hands. This onesie has it too. So like some from Gerber, some from Carter's, they have onesies over the edge. This is a full sleeper that comes with, socks already, and then mittens that will go over the hands. We got a lot of mittens because we're like, okay, like we've heard about babies scratching themselves when they first come out and their nails are kind of delicate but sharp. So we figured, okay, we need to stock up on the mittens. But honestly, the mittens are like way too big. Even the smallest size mitten you can get in the store is still usually too big for a newborn, and then they just fall off all the time. So having it attached to the onesie already is really helpful. Another thing that comes in clutch is a baby lounger. So we have the Dockatot, and I know that there's also the Snuggle Me Organic, and I believe the Boppy brand also sells a baby lounger. I personally love the Dockatot. I kind of looked into what the differences would be and like which one is better, and I just decided to go with the Dockatot, but it is so helpful. So like this thing is like a portable bed for your baby, a portable crib. You can keep it on your bed, you know, like depending on if you're someone who believes in co-sleeping or not, wherever you stand, it can still be nice to have beside you on the bed, just like maybe throughout the day or whatever you're doing. It can also go on the couch, like some people put it on the floor when they're in the living room and they're doing other things. The reason why I really like this as like a portable bed is because it's really nice for like nap time, because it kind of hugs your baby, and also it doesn't like run that risk of like putting them in maybe like a rock and play and their neck kind of being crunched down and their airway, potentially being closed. They'll lie flat on their back. And then also if you're thinking like maybe if you're traveling, this is something that you can easily take with you and like put on a hotel bed next beside you. But I really think, yeah, the baby lounger has come in so helpful. She loves it, and she does well sleeping in it. Some other products that are helpful are swaddles. So we have both swaddle blankets and these Velcro swaddles. So this is what the Velcro swaddle looks like. You put your baby's legs in this part, and then it comes up and it velcros over each other. So it has, I think, 2 spots for velcroing, and it just helps your baby feel like really secure. I know in the beginning it's actually hard to learn how to swaddle your baby properly with just a regular blanket. So the Velcro can really be like just a hack until you figure it out. I love both the Velcro swaddle and a swaddle blanket. So when you're going in the store, you want to look, I don't even know what this like material is called. It's 100% cotton, but it's kind of rough, and it's really helpful for when you're swaddling and you're trying to keep it over. It will create a little bit of friction so that when your baby kind of fights the swaddle, they won't break out of it. We kind of double up on both because, if it's cold, it's easy. We just put her in a short sleeve onesie to sleep, and then we double up on both of these swaddles. I don't know if any other like moms can relate, but my daughter somehow, once we wake her up in the morning, both of her hands are like out here after we swaddled her with them side by side. So having the double protection does help to keep her swaddled through the night. I know a lot of babies resist the swaddle when you put them in it, so it might make you believe that they don't want to be swaddled, but trust me, they do. And if not, like whenever we don't swaddle her and we put her down to sleep, she will wake herself up by like her hand. Somehow she'll like punch herself in the face and be awake. So the swaddle really helps her sleep for a longer period of time. Another essential is a swing. So me and my husband, like, we went through tons of swings. At one point we had the Mamaroo, and then we purchased 3 different Fisher Price swings before we landed on the Graco swing that we have now. I feel like swings are like, I don't know, once the Mamaroo came out, I feel like it changed the swing game, and everybody felt like they needed to get the Mamaroo because it was like so advanced. It had different settings, and it looked like really retro and cool, so I feel like everybody was kind of just attracted to it, and that like drove, I don't know, people to buy it. We registered for one and we got a Mamaroo, and then as I started to do just a little bit more research into it, I felt like I didn't feel like I heard enough like amazing things about it for the price that it was. I feel like for that price, this thing better do everything. It better be the best thing out there on the market for my baby. And I didn't feel like, from the people that I knew who had it, and also from just listening to people on YouTube, we didn't feel confident keeping it. And then we switched to look into Fisher Price because, tried and true Fisher Price. But I don't know why we purchased 3 different swings from Fisher Price, some from the store, and then we even ordered one to be sent to us directly, and they all came scratched. And so I don't know if that was just like a weird thing that was going on right there, but it just made me not trust their swing products anymore. So we kind of gave up on the swing for a while, but when your baby, my baby, I don't feel like she's very needy and needs to be held all the time, but there are moments where I am trying to like accomplish something and she needs to be held and she doesn't want to be put down. The swing is like a really good middle point when I'm home by myself, because she'll enjoy the swing and it just kind of suits her for a little bit. And you don't need a swing that goes like diagonal, sideways. This swing that we have just goes back and forth, and it's so inexpensive. And it's also really compact and just fits into the corner really nicely. So I feel like when I feel like a swing is necessary, but you definitely do not need to break the bank in order to get a swing that's gonna work for your baby. So you'll also need a sound machine. So we registered for one sound machine that we were just gonna keep under her bassinet, but we were gifted, you know, spontaneously this little portable sound machine. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it clips onto just about anything. Like we clip it onto her car seat at times, we clip it onto her swing if she needs a little bit of sound with her out in the living room. And then we also have this sound machine. Oh, it just turned on. I don't know if you guys can see the color. It's a night light, and it's a sound machine and a night light, and it's also like a time to rise. So it can help get your baby on a schedule because you can set it on your phone. So it's compatible with your Bluetooth. That's how I turn it on and turn it off most days. I go through the app, and then you can set it and you can have your favorites as well. Like this is the sound that I use every single night. We kind of keep it consistent, but this has helped so much because we use a sound machine every single day. When we take her out, she's unbothered. Like if it's her nap time, she's gonna sleep no matter what kind of sound is going on. I took her to Logan's graduation, and it was a loud, crazy ordeal, and she was knocked out the whole time. When we take her to church, anywhere, she is just constantly sleeping through whatever noise, and I really feel like the sound machine made that possible. And then also just like grocery shopping, if it's her nap time, sometimes we'll use the portable speaker, and this is really nice. Obviously you wouldn't want to use this as your main sound machine, just because it is battery operated and you'll just have to change batteries very frequently, but it's so helpful. The next item on the list is this holy bathtub. So I feel like this really came in clutch because our daughter's umbilical cord didn't fall off for a while, so it definitely took longer than average for hers to fall off. And then also once it fell off, it took a while for the actual stump area to heal. So as you guys know, or maybe you don't know yet, when your baby's umbilical area isn't healed yet, you can't submerge them into the water, and so you just don't want them to get infected. So this one with holes really helps because we can just pour water on her and it'll go right through, of course, so we don't have to worry about accidentally submerging her or not. And then I also think it's really helpful for like cleanliness level. I don't know, like I just want to make sure that all the soap is off of her when we clean her, so it's nice that we don't have to kind of like take her out, empty the bucket, and she's all slippery. We can just kind of move her around and make sure that all of the soap goes through. I've also seen this be used for bigger babies, so after, you know, you're not worried about submerging them anymore. I've seen this be used kind of like a seat when you are washing your baby in the tub and you're filling the tub with water. So I think that, you know, it's best for your newborn, of course, but it's also going to serve you in the long run as well. The next item I feel is kind of like controversial, and I'm still, I guess, not sure why pacifiers are controversial, but they are. I guess a lot of things when it comes to like motherhood and raising your kids is controversial, so yeah. Anyway, I really recommend these Soothie pacifiers. So these are, I feel like, what everybody sees, and a lot of people use these and they use the animal that's attached to it. We personally use clips for her pacifiers. I just don't like the idea of her pacifier falling on the floor, and then if we're out in public, like, I'm not obviously going to put that back in her mouth. I'm not even going to put that back in her mouth in my own house. But when we're in public, that's even like more devastating. I feel like I have to like get rid of the pacifier altogether. But these are really nice because honestly, I wasn't sure. I thought these like green ones were all hype. Also, they come in purple and pink too, so if you like other colors, they do come in other colors, but I thought these were more hype than they were like functional. Just for whatever reason, I didn't like believe in them. My husband was sure about them, but I wasn't. So we did register for them, and someone gifted them to us, so we kept them. But we first used, I think they're called the man pacifiers. The thing with those, she loved them, she took them, they were fine, but I noticed that moisture would get trapped in the piece that goes into her mouth. And then one day I looked at it and I was like, is that like growing mold? And I don't know if it was, but obviously I wasn't gonna wait to find out. I love these because you can fit your finger inside of it. There aren't any locations for water or like just any like gross baby slime or spit up to get stuck in any area of the pacifier. So I just feel like it's a better clean, and you don't have to worry about, you know, anything catching mold or anything like that. Another item that we absolutely love, or items, I don't know, are wipes. So we use these water wipes, and I feel like I've heard that they were good, and I wasn't really sure when we first started using them, just because I didn't really, you know, everybody knows kind of like Pampers and Huggies. Those are the brands that people are most familiar with. And then at the hospital, they also give you, well, at our hospital, they gave us Pampers diapers and Pampers wipes. So I wasn't sure about making that transition to the water wipes once we got home, but I love them. She has not had any diaper rash whatsoever, any reaction to anything that we've used with her. So I really feel like it's because of the water wipes. And I love thinking, like, the way I think about it is, if a brand does only like one thing, they must do it well. Instead of getting like the sensitive version that Pampers has, I can just go with a brand that this is what they do. And the wipes are 99% water with like a little bit of fruit extract. So I feel like there really isn't anything in there that's going to potentially irritate your kid. And I feel like they also clean really well because they're water wipes. But for real, they're like really drenched in water. So I feel like if you have anything sticky or gooey going on down there, it is really easy to use those to clean your baby. Another item that we love is this changing pad. So this is I think it's like a rubber material. It's a permanent, or I don't know, like you use it all the time, changing pad, and you don't put any of like those disposable ones over it. You just change your baby directly on this. When we registered for this, I felt like people were gonna be like, I don't know, just kind of judge me for registering for a changing pad that was that expensive. It wasn't like crazy expensive, but it's way more expensive than the other changing pads. And the way that I thought about it was like, I want a changing pad that's going to last as long as possible and not get stained or just get really gross and I'm gonna have to change it out. And it's also like just eco-friendly, so it's so good for the environment not to use pads every single, and like think about how many times you change your baby, and if you're putting a fresh one out multiple times a day, that's just gonna add up. It also is cheaper in the long run, so it was much more expensive up front, but you're gonna have to buy those pads until who knows how long it's gonna take until you potty train your kid. So you're gonna be using the changing pad for a really long time. I feel like we have already saved money, and our daughter is only 11 weeks old. So I really believe in that changing pad. I'll link everything that I'm talking about in the description. That way, if you're interested in anything, you know where to find it and you can look at it for yourself. The next items I feel like are kind of just duh, yeah, hope you need those. But honestly, I think everybody knows that you need burp cloths. Like, you go through at least one burp cloth a day, maybe multiple depending on how much your kid spits up. But I didn't think I was going to need bibs for a while because I'm breastfeeding, so I feel like, okay, until she takes a bottle, what's the need for a bib? But honestly, they are so helpful. I saw another mom put the bib on her daughter after she breastfed her, and I was like, wait, I never thought about that. That is so good, because how many times do you like change your kid's outfit because they just randomly spit up on it? Like, after you burp them, they were sitting satisfied for 15 minutes and all of a sudden randomly, and you're just like, great, now I gotta change their outfit. Especially if you're like out and you're traveling to go somewhere and you're putting your baby in the car seat, having them in a bib, even if you didn't just feed them, having a bib around them really just makes sure that, okay, like when they're sitting there, they're gonna, whatever comes out of their mouth is gonna be caught by a bib. So 2 more items, guys. The next item is Gripe Water. So maybe, I don't know how people feel about giving their baby, I don't know, like artificial things, but Gripe Water helped so much. Our daughter had hiccups like crazy in the beginning, and I would find that, you know, breastfeeding does take away the hiccups, but if they're already full and you breastfeed some more, they're just going to spit it all up because it's way too much for them and they're already full. So sometimes just bringing them back to, you know, breastfeeding is not the best solution. But Gripe Water helped us so much. She doesn't have as many hiccups now, or hiccups as often as she did in the beginning, but they were like insane and they bothered her. So having that Gripe Water, just a few drops, changed everything. It was so cute to watch her kind of suck it up. It was a little sugary, so I think it was fun for her to kind of take in. And within like moments of just putting the drops in her mouth, her hiccups were gone. So that was really helpful. The last product is a cloth baby carrier. So since we're talking about newborns specifically, I think the cloth baby carrier is the way to go. We have both a cloth carrier and, I don't know, like the regular carrier that people see. So we were gifted both of those for our baby shower. I think the other kind of more backpack looking carrier is really good for a bigger baby, but we noticed that our baby was just too small for that one to be like comfortable for her. And like I said in the beginning, your baby's like a noodle and they just don't know what to do with their body. So when they're in a carrier that's too big for them, they're just not well supported. Whereas the cloth carrier, I have the Moby one, and there are tons of brands out there. I just like the Moby the best out of the ones that I saw in the store, but it just adjusts to whatever size your baby is. So you have a really petite or you have a really big newborn, whichever size, it works so well. And then because you can fold the material, so you can either have it completely stretched out or you can fold it depending on the needs of your baby. But I found that when she was, you know, and even now she's still a little too small for the other one, so it's nice to have that in, you know, as backup, because sometimes your baby just doesn't want to be put down but you need your arms, so you can use your cloth carrier at home as well. I know that was a lot of information, but I really hope it was helpful. If it was helpful in any way, definitely give this video a big thumbs up. Also, I'm really interested to know, like, if you're a mom and you've been through this process, what products were must-haves for you. And also, if you're shopping and preparing for a baby, let me know if anything like really stood out to you in a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, and turn on your post notifications. That way you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I'll see you guys next time.